The Africa Squadron was a unit of the United States Navy that operated from 1819 to 1861 to suppress the slave trade along the coast of West Africa. However, the term was often ascribed generally to anti-slavery operations during the period leading up to the Civil War. The squadron was an outgrowth of the 1819 treaty between the United States and the United Kingdom that was an early step in stopping the trade, and further defined by the Webster-Ashburton Treaty of 1842. Although technically coordinated with the British West Africa Squadron based in Sierra Leone, in practice the American contingent worked on its own. The squadron also lacked support from the Navy itself. Secretary of the Navy Abel Parker Upshaw was a Southerner and an extreme supporter of states' rights and slavery, and assigned only a handful of ships mounting a total of 80 guns between them. Matthew Perry was the first commander of the squadron, and based himself in Portuguese Cape Verde. The squadron was generally ineffective, since the ships were too few, and since much of the trading activity had shifted to the Niger River Delta area, which was not being covered. In the 2 years of Perry's leadership, only one slaver was reported to have been captured, and that ship was later acquitted by a New Orleans court. In the 16 years of squadron operation, only the crews of 19 slave ships went to trial. These slavers were acquitted or only lightly fined. Other commanders, however, were more successful. African Slave Trade Patrol. The Africa Squadron's cruising area eventually ranged from Cape Frio to the south to Madeira in the north. However, the squadron's supply depot was in Cape Verde Archipelago, approximately 2,500 miles from the northernmost centers of the slave trade in the Bight of Biafra and southward. The Navy Department did not move the depot location until 1859, when it was set up at São Paulo de Luanda, in Portuguese Angola, about 8 degrees south latitude. At the same time, the department put Madeira out of bounds for the squadron. The majority of the squadron's cruising in its first decade was along the coast of Western Africa, with particular attention to Liberian interests. By the 1850s, much of the slave trade in this area had been eliminated by the British, based in their colony at Sierra Leone, as well as the Liberians. Vessels seized. Africa Squadron Source: Canny, D.L. Africa Squadron. Potomac Books, 2006 pp.